Today is supposed to be a travel day, but it gets immediately switched into a shoot day. So I drive from Orlando to Miami, and we get a walk and talk with DJ Scheme as part of a brand integrated commercial. The concept is he walks into the party, hands a swag bag to the influencers in a Miami mansion, and they invite him to the back where he DJs a set. So this was great, immediately started working, and in the back you will see a videographer named Ashton, who is the one who has completely plugged me into this Rolling Loud media project. So you have the original media team who covers all the artist performances, and now you have this sponsorship team that I'm a part of who covers all of the brands that are sponsoring and want these mini projects throughout the weekend. All right, we wrapped the unofficial day one. Pool party went great. We got the commercial done. The representatives on site seemed very happy, and I'm kind of tired, which is a little scary because the festival hasn't even started yet. There's nothing like a pre-production meeting with 11 new people that you need to interact with, know their names, figure out what they do. But these people literally come from all over the world. Our editor, one of our assistant editors is named Damien from Croatia. So I'm just learning what's going on. They're looking at the footage from last night, and then we head straight into the grounds, which is extremely protected by security, and you absolutely cannot do anything without the right credentials. So this wristband is extremely important. About 3 to 4 hours before the gates open. So we get into our trailer and I begin setting up the gimbal, which is what I will be on pretty much the entire weekend. So normally I have a C70, but in order to fit within their workflow, they required a Sony camera. I went with the A7S III. It's new. I've heard it's amazing. I've only worked a little bit with it, maybe like 15 minutes, and the settings were set up for me. So now I get to use it the whole weekend. And I also rented the 16 to 35. The rental came with a 24 to 70, but the 16 to 35 felt like it would be more useful and effective for the type of content that I'm going to be gathering. And in this case, the company picked up the rental fee for me, which was very nice of them. I told them I had a C70, and they said that's great, but we are doing an all Sony workflow, so we'll pick up the tab for you. And it's ready to go. Now we only have 30 minutes before the gates open, so we go straight to the Ahora Tequila activation site and grab all the B-roll shots of the cans so that, like now, when someone does come in, we can go straight to the performance shots and get them interacting with the booth, with the product, and we're able to go straight to our next project. All right, these 4 editors are amazing. We have on the right side, Mikey, he is the lead and DIT. To the left is Edward from California. To the left is Damien from Croatia, and Kevin at the end. They all crush at what they do, and they've already churned out last night's edit. Edward took it overnight and finished it up. So we have a walk and talk in front of the Bentley, single lavalier, 16 to 35 on the gimbal, and then the cut shots are with the FS7 from Ashton. I believe he was on a 35-1.4. So some party visuals and branding at the end, and that's a wrap, and it gets delivered to the client. This place is massive. 6 hours have already gone by. I have one more assignment to shoot at 7, which is in an hour, and then I should be done for the day.
Yeah, listen, I've been doing doing this shit for 4 years and they still playing with me.
And back to the field squad. So we have Ava in front with the dual photo camera. We have Orlando in the red as our producer, Kat, our PA on the left, Damien, the editor, and on the right is Tyler, who is kind of the liaison between Rolling Loud and the sponsorship team. So he's going to say the client needs this and kind of directing Orlando, who will in turn oversee that everything happens on our team. So this is behind the stage, the main stage, which I found out later cost over $2 million to put together with labor and everything. But there are thousands of people in the audience. And on stage, it's very hard to get back there. Like I said, you have to have the right credentials and you have to know where to be. And if you are in the wrong spot, someone will definitely tell you in a assertive way. So I got a couple shots here. My assignment was to get crowd shots. So I was on the 16-35. What can I do up here? I can't really get crowd reactions, some cool pyro up here, but I needed to make the switch and go back into the crowd, into the pit, and get some crowd reactions because that was on the shot list, so I want to grab it, and two, it's the right spot for the equipment that I have. So here's kind of the end of the night. The first day is insanely fast, and you got some people enjoying. I used my iPhone as a light, but also I just hit record so I can get both at the same time. Go to bed and come back. We are at the event site, the Hard Rock Stadium, which is, the event doesn't even take place in the stadium. I thought it would. It is so large that it expands around the entire stadium grounds. There's no way it could fit inside the stadium. And the first assignment of the day is to meet up with one of the event organizers, Matt Zingler. Really cool dude. And he goes around from different parts of the event before it opens. So before, we are capturing some kind of documentary footage, archival purposes, where he explains behind the scenes of what goes into organizing the largest hip-hop music festival in the entire world. So really, really interesting information that I hope comes out in a documentary someday. Maybe I'll be in the credits, who knows? But for now, it is being stashed away, and we are doing a 2-camera shoot. So me on the gimbal, single lav, under his chains, which was actually a difficult point because the chains kept rubbing against the lavalier, so I had to reposition. And then you have Ashton right behind me, who is getting a 45-degree cutaway angle on the FS7. So we are at, what does that say, F14? So somebody forgot to bring their ND filter. Well, actually, I did bring the ND filter, but putting it on the Zeiss glass made too much of a degradation in image quality. I didn't like it at all. And here's more interviews. I've been part of music festivals before. So I was in a nationwide country music festival team, and it had stops in New York, Colorado, and I want to say Texas and Wyoming. I believe I was on 2 or 3 of the stops in the tour. So I know what happens from a production standpoint, but being able to hear the event organizer talk about the things moving behind the scenes and conversations with artists, and it really opens up this new world that I wasn't a part of. And that is the cool part about getting onto any new assignment, is you get to hear and be a part of someone else's world. So in this one, we are in the trailer again, grabbing more interviews, and you can see the special vest that Tyler has on that is specific for Rolling Loud Media. That is the golden key. We have a limited key on our wrists. But grabbing some more interviews, and Tyler actually gave a great idea because I was taking too long laving people up. I was having them drop the wire down their clothing, and he spotted it and said, just throw it over behind their shoulder so we can get these people in and out faster. And being able to take direction is always a good thing, but not just direction. When someone sees a way you could do your job better, it's really good to at least absorb what they're saying, if not listen to it, because they're seeing it from a different perspective than you are.
Come up a little bit so you're not sitting so like a little closer to the edge. There you go. There. And so he's gonna ask questions, but just look right at the camera when you talk. And we're good to go. Alright, so what is your name?
And we moved trailers. Someone said they needed to use that one, so we moved into this one, which is nice because we have massive windows and it's a square layout instead of a long rectangle. But we get to see the view, and we are right next to a stadium, and you can definitely feel it. This is the biggest project of the weekend. It is a Levi's branded crossover with ski mask, and it has the highest priority to be executed flawlessly. So we did do some words with him earlier in the day, but this is a completely separate project. And to be fair, I didn't know who he was, and that might sound crazy if you're filming Rolling Loud and you don't know who Ski Mask the Slump God is. I didn't. But I do now. He's a cool dude who's down for the cause and to make a great product, which is really helpful when you're trying to make clients happy. So that's the Levi's spot. We did some filming in there for about 20-30 minutes. I'm on the same rig as always, no overheating, happy to report that. And Ashton is on the B cam, which is the FS7, again with a scratch mic for audio sync purposes. And the editor who will be doing that is on the C cam, which is an A7 III and a 70-200. I wish you could see how many people are in this small room. There's about 11-person crew, 2 photographers, 3 videographers, on-site producer, a PA who's booming in a light to give some fill to his face, and it's going nuts. And the ending piece of the video is him on stage crushing it. I wish you guys could hear this, but I have to lower the volume for copyright issues. It's a bummer. And back to the edit house. So immediately the footage gets taken in and starts getting chopped up.
Like straight legs, and then, yeah, I wear them with Converse or some shit sometimes, and they go crazy.
Now this is the benefit of working with a team. So we did this can flip during the day, and then I came back at night and I was like, oh, maybe they could do a match cut from day to night transition. Damien, the editor, put it together and said, you know, it's just slightly too far off. So we took a quick detour. Ashton shot it. I did my best to flip this can, and Damien is filming with my phone, and he's kind of supervising what needs to happen to make it match the cut back in the edit. So it took a few tries, counting, choreographing, but this is the great thing that you can do when you have multiple hands on set. You don't have to do everything yourself. You have more time to do certain things and to really polish it up and over deliver to the client, because he could have just done a little whip transition or zoom or blur to cover up, but now with the shot being taken again, it's seamless.
Roll out Miami, it's a gorge shot for L. We got Hakeem Roper in the center versus that complex zone speed. Norman, what's good, man?
Day 3, we're at the event site. Got about 3-4 hours until the doors open. So we're gonna continue with the documentary archival footage for the event organizer, and that's the only thing we're supposed to do. We're supposed to grab some more B-roll of one of the shoots from yesterday and just be ready for whatever they throw at us next. I just got some more info on how I actually was brought into this production. So I was initially contacted to, they were asking about interviews and events because they saw my Instagram page, and I was like, yeah, you know, I do interviews, corporate interviews, events, no problem. It was only till later that he mentioned it was Rolling Loud, so I was kind of confused. I was like, interviews and events, but now after doing all this, they wanted someone without a music background who wouldn't get, you know, kind of overwhelmed by seeing all their favorite artists that they try to get into all these festivals to shoot for, and they wanted someone to bring that kind of clean interview look. So it's kind of cool. My page had no music festivals on it. I've done festivals before, but that's the reason why they brought me into this music festival, because I had other experience.
So the lead editor, the DIT, brought in all the footage, organized it, handed it off to the assistant editors who created a skeleton timeline. They handed that back to the main editor. He glued everything together, polished it up, and made an amazing piece. The fact that there's multiple cameras, there's a narrative that has to be clear and concise, and the editor who was on site during production came in post, listened to everything, and pulled and stitched the best sound bites together is honestly amazing. Normally, it's with this type of time crunch, you need a script to go off of. And he made it work, and it was because it was a team effort. Ashton, the other DP, really pushed for this to be shot in S-Log, and I was a little weary because I haven't exposed on S-Log before, but I'm glad I listened to him because this came out amazing, and now this can go into everybody's portfolio as something they contributed to. So it was only because of the team in front of you. These people are amazing, and they are extremely talented at what they do, and now I know each and every one of them at different parts of the world. So this came out great with the sunset and the jewelry shot spinning. I'm linking to the post on Rolling Loud's Instagram. They actually pinned it for a few days, and you can see what the level of production they are expecting for their sponsored content, because this thing came out amazing, and I'm stoked with it. One last tip: if you are getting into production, get an iPhone. There is just an ease of communication with the iPhone system, whether it's iMessage or transferring assets with AirDrop, FaceTime, and everything works flawlessly together. And you don't want to be the pain point in that problem. So there was a person in our 12-person text thread, and they were simply booted out because if you have one Android in there, it ruins all the reaction and it bloats the feed. So I like iPhone simply because it's an easy use thing, and I love being able to shoot, edit, and upload these vlogs all on the same device. But if you want to adapt to the environment, I would highly recommend being on an iPhone. Other than that, this is what it looks like when you finish a weekend and it's successful.
Who's chewing gum right now? Who's chewing gum right now?
Insane 3-day weekend. I feel so tired, but we finished with happy clients, deliverables met, good atmosphere among the crew, extremely large crew, and a lot of networking and connections made. So that is hopefully going to produce a new job coming up, because I know they're trying to secure the New York Rolling Loud. So let's hope I get the call back and the budget allows for, flying me out through the whole thing. But that was such a fast, intense production. There was some downtime here and there, but pretty much it was go, 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 be able to pivot, be able to adapt, figure it out. Don't come to me with excuses. Just do your best to figure it out, and not in a mean way, but in everybody's got to do this. in order to make it happen, whether that's you know, trying to get into areas that your wristband should allow you in, but the security guards don't know what's going on, or maybe they close it off, and sometimes you hit a wall where you just can't make it happen, but you need to maybe figure out a second plan of action or something like that to make it work. So that was a really, really fun shoot. I'm exhausted. I feel like I aged in 4 days. I'm gonna head back to Orlando now, and I don't know what I have to do next, but I'm sure there's something on the schedule, and I'll see you guys in the next one.